Hello plant tribe and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, hi, I'm Nikki. It's nice to meet you. For those of you who are returning, thank you so much for coming back for more. I really do appreciate it. So today, I think it's about time that I repot this gorgeous, beautiful, stunning, variegated, okay, I'm done. This variegated banana into some actual soil. I've had it for about a month. There's a lot of roots down there and it is sucking through the water in this moss far too quickly. So I'm gonna go ahead and get her into some nice moisture retentive soil. If you'd like to hang around and watch me repot Miss Paisley, then please stick around. Okay, so if you've been around for a bit, I think I got this, actually I think it was a little bit over a month ago. And the story behind her is I saw one on Instagram, and it's not often that I see a plant on Instagram and then become obsessed. Usually it's YouTube. Anyway, I saw a picture of this plant and it literally got into my brain like some festering idea that you just can't shake. So I had to suss one out. So I got in touch with my friend Kristen from Sweet Life Flora, and she was able to find this one for me. Now that came with its own set of issues because it had to come from overseas. So when it came from overseas, it didn't ship well, it didn't transit well, so Kristen had to hold on to it and nurse it back to health. It lost all of its leaves. It was like hurting. So finally, after quite a few months, it was to the point where she felt it was okay and safe enough to ship. So she contacted me and she's like, it's ready. And I was like, what? So naturally I was like really excited because it's a plant that you really don't see very often. They are extremely hard to get your hands on, and I was just excited with the thought that I was gonna have this plant and then to find out that it didn't really ship well. And it's just one of those things where you're like, oh, I knew it was too good to be true. But she shipped it to me and I unboxed it for you guys. And it is growing. I think honestly this is like the fastest growing plant in my collection currently. The only trouble that I'm having with it, and I think we've got that nailed finally, the leaves are extremely thin because it is just a juvenile plant. So it is extremely sensitive to humidity. These plants like between 60 and 80% humidity, so quite high. And I had it on the opposite side of my shelf from where my humidifier was, and I thought it would be okay there, but it turns out that it wanted more. Miss Paisley is a greedy humidity lady. That right. I'm such a nerd. Okay, anyway, so I moved it over to the little shelf that is literally directly beside my humidifier. So she gets blasted. I shouldn't say blasted. She gets a lot of humidity. So now the humidity is sitting around 65 to 70%, which is ideal for this plant. She's right under a grow light now as well, because they do like bright light. But there's a fine line between that bright light and the light that will burn your plant to a crisp. So if you can see, she definitely did have some brown leaves there, but the last two that have come out, this one and this one is coming out currently. There we go. And they are doing really well. But like I said, this moss is drying out way too fast. I can see at the bottom here, she's got quite a few new roots. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. And she just needs something that's gonna hold on to moisture a little bit longer. And so I'm gonna get her into soil. So definitely will transfer her. If you guys are wondering why I'm calling her Paisley, one of my subscribers, Janice, and I wrote her name here, Janice Boyd. Hi Janice. She said that you know, I've had a lot of people saying they want to follow the journey of this plant just because it is a plant that you don't really see overly often. And so Janice had said, you know, like, I definitely want to follow along. Really, you know what, that plant is cool if she needs a name. And I was like, cool, yeah, what do you want to call her? So Janice wrote back and she says that we should call it Paisley, which I love. I love the name Paisley, and I think it is a perfect name for this plant. Oh, here's a picture of what this plant will look like when it gets a little bit more mature, and I just can't. I just can't. Anyways, so we're gonna get her into some soil today, and hopefully that will help with the whole, you know, roots growing everywhere thing. So I have my little pot here. Now, bananas like moist soil, but not like just sopping, but they don't like to dry out like at all. So what I'm gonna do is I have my regular aeroid soil mix here. So it is very well draining. It's not super chunky, like I would put like an anthurium in or something, but it does have some bark. It's got lots of perlite, and it has my regular potting soil that I love. And so what I'm also gonna do is when I take her out of here, I'm gonna mix some of the spag moss in there as well, because it tends to, when it's in with other things, it tends to hold on to some moisture. So it's gonna give it lots of air, lots of moisture, and I think it's going to be a good mix for this banana. So I'm gonna go ahead and just mix that right in the pot. I don't have my spoon. Okay, so here's my soil. I'll give you a little shot of that. So it's got perlite, it's got fine fir bark, and obviously potting soil. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put some in here and just, I think that's probably enough for now. Let me get her out of this pot, and let's take a look at the roots, because from the looks of things, oh, it's so dry, and it was like soaking wet yesterday. Okay, so I know I say this all the time, but when you're taking any plant out of moss, really make sure that you're really gentle. Take your time, pull it off piece by piece. A lot of the time, roots can look very similar to the moss, and you definitely, especially on a plant like this, you definitely don't want to do any damage to the roots that it's worked so hard on creating. I might actually have to soak this in a bit of water. I think it's a little bit too dry for me to be doing this. And you can see that she's put out quite a few roots since I got her. Here's what the root system looked like when I first got it. So at least I think I have a photo of that. If I do, I'll include it. But they weren't overly substantial. And now it looks like there are quite a few roots on this little rhizome here. So I'm just gonna go run this under some distilled water, or filtered water, I guess, and just loosen up this moss a little bit, and then I will be right back. Okay, so I just went ahead and ran it under water, and it really does just loosen things up to make taking this moss off much, much easier. Obviously you still have to be a little careful, especially with this long fiber moss. They really just do get wound in there. So I'll just go ahead and speed this part up. This is a little time consuming, but it's definitely worth it. Especially with a plant like this, you don't really want to risk anything. But we are getting there. We are making progress. There is a lot of roots in here. I am very impressed. I'm impressed with this plant as a whole, because I really didn't think variegated plants tend to grow more slowly than their green counterparts anyway. And because just of what this plant is, I really didn't expect it to grow the way it has. So I am very pleasantly surprised with this plant. Very happy about it. Holy roots. Okay, there we go. I think we've got most of them off, but look at that. So if you compare that to what the plant was when I first got it, like this is crazy root growth. So I'm very, very happy to see that. There's a lot of new little roots spreading out there, and it looks like we might have the starting of a couple rhizomes already, which is weird. It might not be, but that's kind of what it looks like. But we'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna set her right there. Now into the soil that I've got mixed in here, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna mix it right in this. You just stay there, sweet girl. I'm just gonna lie you down. There you go. I think I'm just gonna mix it right in here. If you can see that. I just want to make sure that I get a nice mix of aeration, water retention all over my floor. Just to make sure that she has everything that she needs. And it looks a little messy, and it absolutely is, but I think this is really going to benefit the plant in the end. Okay, there we go. Now I'm filthy. I had to vacuum anyway. Again. Oh boy. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some of this in here. Let me see. Maybe another little scoop. Okay, so I think that's probably okay. It will compact a little bit. I'm gonna set her right on the top there, and then just go ahead and fill in around. I probably should have put that on the other side, considering I'm right-handed. There we go. So I'll just make sure that once I get her all in here, I'll just keep an eye on her for a little while, just to make sure that this is going to be a good potting mix. It's actually really difficult to find a whole lot of information online. Simply for the fact that I don't think all that many people have these. Maybe I'm just not looking in the right spot, but I think that what I have found said that they do like moisture, and that seems to definitely be the case. Give it a little shake. There we go. All right. I think she's all set. Let me just clean up that pot a little. And there we go. I am filthy, but I think this is really going to help her out. Like I said, this is growing so quickly, and I think she just needed some more space and a little bit more moisture. So that is her. I will continue to keep you guys updated on her growth, and like I said, it's like a weekly event is her getting a new leaf. She was on the shelves in my front window, which is like a northwest window, so it gets a lot of bright light in the afternoon. and she has reached, this new leaf is going to reach the top of the shelf above it. So I'm gonna have to take her out of here. I might put her on the shelf here behind me. I haven't quite decided yet. It's always like nerve-wracking when you have to move a plant like that, because you're like, is it gonna like the same light? Because it's not exactly the same conditions. And especially when you get a plant like this that's already difficult to find and you really are hesitant about moving it. But at this point I don't have a choice because she's just too tall. So I will get her all nestled in her new space, and I will continue to keep you updated on Paisley's progress. So if you like this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. It is a huge help. I love also if you guys would comment and interact with me. I love talking to you guys. I always reply to all of my comments, and talking to you guys and kind of creating this little plants, pots, and whatnots community is just so much fun. And now that I'm not working, I have more time to be able to respond to you guys and to, you know, have conversations and stuff like that. So I absolutely love that. Also, if you're not already, please go ahead and follow me over on Instagram. That is where you will get most of the updates, or, you know, random thoughts that I'm thinking that day, or, you know, just new things or questions and polls and that kind of stuff. So here is my Instagram handle. Go ahead and follow me over there. And for just like additional fun content, I guess. All right, guys, thank you so much for liking and watching and commenting and subscribing. If you haven't already, please consider doing so. It is a huge help to my channel, and I really do appreciate it. So remember to have a great day, night, week, month, and year. I love you all to little bitty bits, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah!